Welcome to the Awe Studio. Happy Saturday. Glad you're with us. We want to share a little bit of what we do here, and we're going to use one of our regular classes. During the week, we have one on Thursdays at 9 a.m. called Pilates meets Yoga. And it's a nice blend of both disciplines, a little more on the gentle side, so that we go slowly and we listen to our bodies, really connect and find as much natural movement in the patterns of movement that we use as we can. So we're going to start the class by opening up the front of the body, a little bit of a restorative pose using these large bolsters. And you can, if you're at home, you can always pull a firm sofa cushion and use that on the floor as well. So your options here are, you can have your hips all the way down on the mat and the back of the bolster up against your lower back. So girls, slide off. Good. And then as you lay back across the bolster, lengthen your back and really feel that connection of each segment of the back as you lengthen down. And then once you're here, you've got that gray ball beside you. You can reach for that gray ball and place it right underneath the head and find a comfortable position there. And for your hips to be on the floor like they are now, puts your lower back in a little bit of a larger arch or extension. If this doesn't feel good on your lower back, you can always shift your hips up on top of this bolster and do the same thing here. So the hips are supported, shoulders are supported, and then you've got this ball or blankets behind you to support your head. Good. And then find a comfortable position for your arms. So if you want to take them out to the sides, palms facing up and elbows dropping down, or have them by your hips, whatever feels natural. Good. So I love this position to start a class in because we spend so much of our time rounded and kind of rolled forward at our shoulders and our upper body, that to start a mind-body practice by opening that heart and the chest, everything releasing into that openness is a great preparation, and it's a great way to start from a place of relaxation rather than jumping into movement and strengthening. Start by settling down. Start by getting yourself grounded. So let's start to notice your breath and notice the parts of your body that are moving with that breath. And then very gently start to deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale as you go. Good. As you're here and you keep listening to the body, letting everything kind of adjust and relax. If you want to change the position of your arms or your legs, really listen to where your body wants to go. Pay attention to those cues. And that's something we'll say throughout the whole class, is that really this practice is about listening to your body, taking care of it the best way you can, while we're building strength and balance and coordination. You can do all of those things together and really get a well-rounded discipline. A couple more breaths right here. And gently coming out of this, bringing your head forward, using your hands to walk yourself up and forward off that bolster. We're going to move the bolster off your mat and move that ball off your mat as well. And we're going to go flat on your back, knees in this bent position, arms by your side. And we're going to start with that classic pelvic tilt. So we're going to have a small movement back and forth with that pelvis. As you roll the pelvis backwards, the lower back will press down into the mat. And then as you roll the pelvis forward, the lower back will separate from the mat. And you don't have to do a great big movement here. This can be small. Anytime you start forcing your body to go into a larger movement, you're going to build tension. So you want to keep those joints easy and take it through that movement that you have available. And then once you get the feel of that movement and how far you can go, connect the breath with that movement. So it doesn't matter which direction you hook it, but hook that inhale to one direction of the tilt, and then hook the exhale to the next direction of the tilt. And this is going to slow you down a lot. This is so common to start a pelvic tilt nice and fast, thinking that we're being efficient the faster we move, but it's actually the opposite. The more we can control our movements and really be aware of them as we go through them slowly, that's a quality that's so important, especially as we age. Good. Couple more times like this. Nice. Now we're going to continue this pelvic tilt right up into a bridge. So you start the bridge with a backward tilt of the pelvis, and then the hips are going to float up any amount. And then lowering that bridge, the lower back should engage the mat first, and then relax the pelvis, let it fall wherever it wants to fall. So again, start with that tilt, lift the hips up, lower the hips gently down, lower back touching, and then unroll that pelvis. Good, connecting the breath here. So a nice breath in as you go up, and then a nice breath out as you lower down. And two more times, bridging up and down. And last time, roll and bridge. Good. Coming down, we're going to keep the lower back grounded into the mat. So your pelvis is down on the floor, but you're in that backward tilt. We're going to keep the lower back in this nice safe place while we work on the core. So arms are by our sides. We're going to place the right leg into this tabletop position, and then very gently ease the left leg up to meet it. Good. We're going to extend the feet up towards the sky, and then bring them right back to tabletop. And breathe in to extend the legs up, lengthen as you go, and then bring them back down to table. Good. If you want to add the upper body here, here's an option. You can place the head up and forward, shoulders up and forward, fingertips reaching towards you, away from you. So a nice breath in and out. As you extend those legs up, you can go into a little bit of a rotation Pilates stance with the thighs open, and then rotate them back into bend. And breathe in, lengthen, and exhale down. Good. Let's do 2 more. Put your head down anytime you need to. Lengthen. And lower down. And one more time, long legs, reach. And lower. And let's lower the head and hug the knees towards the chest. A little rock side to side. Massage the lower back. Good. So one of the hardest things when you start lifting your head and shoulders in Pilates is you can get really tense in your upper body and your arms and your head and neck. So try to place yourself with as much ease, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, keeping that neck free and loose. And you can even turn that head side to side. Check and see how much you're just gripping to hold it there and how much you're really using the core to hold it there, okay? All right, lowering back down. Nice. We're gonna place that pelvis again in that safe place, lower back grounded, and then right back to our tabletop. Good. Bringing the head up and forward, this time hands over the knees. We're gonna do double leg stretch. So we're gonna send those legs out and the arms out, away from one another, and then wrap the arms around the sides and back to the knees. So it's up to you. You can take these legs straight up where we were taking them and wrap around and close, or you can take the legs any amount away from midline. Just make sure that lower back stays grounded. And in. Take a deep breath in to lengthen out and wrap around. And 2 more. Last time, deep breath in. And out. Lower everything down. This time, extend those legs long on the mat. Take the arms up overhead and make the body nice and long. Stretch it out. Good. Take a listen to your body and get to know the places as you have some stretching breaks. Get to know the places that tend to hold on to tension and take a while to really relax and stretch out, because we really do need to make sure that when we're building strength and contracting muscles, there was a lot of core work here. So after you finish that core work, you should be able to lengthen those tissues out, stretch them all the way back out, taking care of them in both directions. Good. All right, bending the legs back in place. Arms back by our sides. Nice. Single straight leg stretch. So we're gonna take the right leg up towards the ceiling. We're gonna reach behind the knee or behind the lower leg. Good, relax at the shoulder. Remember that turning the head, chest. Test to see how much tension you might have. Good. Extend the other leg out long. A little bounce before you switch. Bounce, switch. Bounce, switch. Keeping that lower back nice and safe. A little stretch for the hamstrings. And then lower everything down. If you want to go back and hug the knees to the chest again, nice little release. Good. And now we're going to pull this large bolster back onto the mats. go across the mat. There you go. All right, so bolster's right up against the back of your pelvis. And we're going to go into this position of reclining back. You can choose between crossing your legs or having them bent out in front of you. Here's where we're headed. We're going to do a really slow crunch that covers a lot of territory. So your hands are lightly behind the back of your head. You can arch your body back as much as you like. And then slowly bring it forward any amount, keeping those elbows open and wide. And this might be a few inches each direction, but it's slow and really controlled. Think of lengthening the top of your head out and away from your body as you travel through space. Good. Nice and relaxed at the neck. Good. Keep those elbows open. Try making it a little bit smaller. You don't have to come all the way up. But it's nice to go all the way further back. And then connect the breath with that movement. It makes it so much easier if you breathe with it. Exhale. And inhale back. Lengthen the body out. And exhale. And inhale, we have 2 more to go here. Lengthen the body. And out. And one more time. Nice, now just relax back, relax the arms. If you want to bring that gray ball back underneath your head for a little support, we're just going to open up the front of the body again here. Stay right there. Good. These are just small exercise balls that are halfway blown up. We use them a lot around here. For behind the neck, you can just get a great neck release. Just support it over this ball and naturally moving the head through the different planes of motion. And it's also great on your back underneath your pelvis to assist in those pelvic tilts in a really soft way. And go ahead and stretch those arms up overhead. Opening those shoulders even more. Relax the elbows down. Good. And then when you're deep breathing here in a stretch, let your rib cage move with that breath. So it should open and then close. Good. All right, same thing here. Gently folding the head forward, bringing the arms down and helping yourself come forward off that bolster. We're going to make our way onto our sides without the bolster. So I'm going to have you girls on your sides long ways with your feet towards me. Good. So they'll be able to see a side view up here and a long view down there. So on our sides, and think of lengthening the lower part of your body first. So lengthen that lower waist, the lower rib cage. Lengthen the legs out long beneath you. And then bring the feet to the front corner of your mat. Good. Now you're going to want to keep your hips in line so that top hip stays stacked right above your lower hip. You want to avoid this kind of rocking and rolling. Okay? Same thing with your shoulders. Top shoulder stays in line right over the lower shoulder. You can have your hand resting on the mat for support, or you can have it on that top hip. This is harder to control, okay? So you can try each, whichever you like. So we're gonna slightly lengthen that top leg. Abdominals are pulled in. And don't forget that the lower waist is part of that. Don't collapse and sink down in your waist. Good. We're just gonna work on little circles here. A really simple exercise, but when you do this slow and controlled and everything in alignment, it's really effective in toning those small muscles, postural, balance, everything. Good. And as you're targeting the hip muscles and the core muscles, remember that upper body is relaxed. So be sure to continue to listen to all the parts and don't tense anything that doesn't have to be working. And then you're saving energy. You're being smart about how you're working. Good, and then if you want to play with maybe making that circle a little bit larger, it doesn't take much larger of a circle to really work harder at the core, keeping everything still. And we're still breathing here. Nice deep breath in. Good, now reversing the direction. Take your time as you reverse. Start small and slow and get a feel for that new direction. And while you're circling your leg, think of that leg growing longer, lengthening as you circle. And feeling every part of that circle so nothing is missed. Good. And then play with maybe making that circle a little bit larger. Couple more like this. Nice breath in and out. Very nice. Lower that leg and bring it across the front of your mat. Relax that hip and stay right here a second. Good. So this exercise is a perfect example of that kind of slow, coordinated movement and what it can do for you. The original name for Pilates was controlology. So it's all about controlling the way your muscles are making things move. So this kind of nice, slow, mindful movement is terrific. Good. Let's stretch out the piriformis muscle after that exercise. We're going to cross that working leg over the opposite knee. And then you're going to bring the thigh towards your chest, reach around the back of that thigh, and hold it in place. Good. If this causes any strain on knees or hips, you can do the same thing with the foot down on the mat. A little bit of rocking, especially away from the crossed knee. You'll feel that stretch in your piriformis. There you go. Good. So this is another perfect example of how we tone and tighten and work a muscle. We fatigued the muscle of the glutes and the piriformis. got nice and tight, and now we take the time to stretch it back out. So we're going both directions. Good. Let's gently lower that foot back down to the mat. Uncross that leg, and we're going to flip around to the second side. So setting up this side the same way, lengthening the lower body first. Long waist, long ribs, easy at the neck. Lengthen the legs, and then bring the feet to the front corner of that mat. Top hip is stacked right over the lower hip. Same thing with the shoulders. And lift that top leg. And begin a nice slow circle. Feel each part of that circle. As you go, you can imagine your toes are like a pencil and you're drawing a smooth circle on the wall beneath you. Good, breathing well, and then playing with making that circle a little bit larger if you like. Always watching this top hip, that's where you want to keep nice and steady. Two more this way. Reverse that direction, sending it the opposite way. Take your time as you go. Check back in with that lower waistline. Keep it lifted, don't let it sink down. Good job. Anytime you feel the hip getting fatigued, the muscles getting tired, really visualize that leg lengthening longer and longer. It'll make it feel lighter. Breathing as you go. Two more circles this way. Beautiful. Bend that leg and place it down in front of you on the mat. Relax that hip. Take some deep breaths. Listening to that body again, make sure everything's really letting go. And then rolling onto your backs. Crossing that working leg over the opposite knee. And then pulling that thigh in towards the chest, piriformis stretch. Relax that working hip, and maybe a little sway side to side, or you can keep the foot planted on the ground and sway, especially in the direction away from the crossed knee. Good, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Coming out of that side, lower that foot down, uncross the leg. We're gonna roll onto one side and make our way over to hands and knees. So if y'all would go side to side like I am for hands and knees, that'd be great. Okay, love this position of hands and knees. And let's just start by rocking gently side to side. Let the lower back relax into that arch. Let gravity help that back arch. And then sway side to side, drop the chin to the chest. And gently turn the head a little bit side to side. So a great position to go ahead and get yourself into when your back is tight and tense and you've been immobilized for hours and you don't know how to quickly unwind and release. This is a great way to do it. Good. Now we're coming into center and we're going to go through a little bit of cat-cow and small. What I see people do so much is jump into a cat-cow that's aggressive and large. Start small. Relax the head down. And then gently start to open that back. It should feel so natural, like a massage, so that nothing's forced or pushed. It just flows naturally. And that's really the way all of these movements should be. And one more time, rounding and curling gently. And then arching gently. Good, now finding your middle ground. You're gonna make sure your knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders. We're gonna do balancing table. So your abdominals contract. You're not sinking down in your lower back, you're lifted at your abdominals. Keep that back nice and stable. Opposite arm, opposite leg are going to go out to that table line. Don't take the leg too high or the arm too high. And then lower the leg and the arm right back down to the mat. Take your time as you go out. Core stays nice and steady. Other arm and leg extend out. And then gently bring it back in. Good, now let's do it with less effort at the neck and the shoulders. So as we go out and you find your table, go ahead and turn your head a little bit side to side. You're looking down at the mat and then turning that head side to side so that you're keeping your neck loose, and then bring the hand and arm down. And then other side, send everything out. Find that table. Turn the head side to side. And gently lower everything down. Beautiful. We're going to open the knees slightly, drop the hips back to child's pose. Relax the head forward, drop everything. So this is a great time to relax the lower back. And I'm just going to give the girls a little bit of support in letting those tissues go. Nice and soft here. Let everything relax and stretch out. So a great dynamic as we work on strengthening is to do it in such an easy way that we're dropping tension from our bodies as we work. And sometimes just a little bit of soft pressure. We don't have them out today, but the Ravis that we use in the studio have this same effect of just a little bit of pressure to elicit relaxation in our bodies. And the more we can connect with that side and work gently within that state of relaxation, the more awesome our lifestyle is going to be, the quality of our activities will be so much better. Good, girls, we're gonna ease our way up from that child's pose, back to hands and knees. And we're gonna tuck our toes underneath behind. Take a deep breath in and float the hips up and back to a nice soft downward dog. Nice bend in the knees, and then pedal the heels out. One heel down, and other heel down. So nice easy pedaling back and forth. Gently lengthening out the back of the legs, the back. You can start to play with maybe a little twist of your spine as you pedal out your feet. And then check out your neck here. So maybe drop your chin towards your chest, lengthen the back of the neck. And then we're gonna drop down both knees. Nice, walk the hands a little forward and we're gonna lower ourselves all the way down. Good. Go ahead and turn your head to the side, open your legs slightly, crocodile pose, relax, and melt your body into the floor. Nice deep breaths in and out. This is a great position to practice belly breathing in, because as you belly breathe, you're letting that belly expand with the inhale, and you can feel it push into the floor, and then you feel it relax back into the body. So it's beautiful feedback. I love this whole position of being on your belly, working in this place. It's wonderful to feel in your body. Couple more breaths here. Good. Let's start to bring the legs back together. And we're going to send the arms up overhead on our mat. Our neck is long, so your choices here, we're going to do a nice soft swim. We're going to keep the back of the neck long, so your forehead is either on the mat or it's slightly lifted, but you're still looking down at the mat. The back of the neck stays really long. And then for our slow swim, we're going to lift the opposite arm and leg just off the floor, and it's more about lengthening them as you lift, and then lower back down. Same thing with the other arm and leg, lifting the opposites, lengthen as you go, and then lower back down. And again, breathe in to lift. And exhale, lower. And breathe in, lift. And exhale, lower. Good, one more time this way, and then we're gonna go ahead into a little bit of a faster swim. Nice and slow. And once more, lift. Good. We're going to keep the swim going a little bit faster. So if this feels okay on your lower back, alternating the arms and the legs, nice and smooth. Keep that forehead down. That's it. Good job. Forehead is towards the floor. Lower back is lengthened. Good. Nice breath in and out. And one more time. Breathe in. And out, and relax everything down again. Turn the head to the side. Let the whole body melt into the floor. Good. And bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Pushing up and back onto the knees again, and rounding right back into that child's pose for a moment. Stretch out that lower back. And then turning around on our mat, we're gonna go onto our backs and stretch out our hamstrings before we relax completely. So I would go sideways like I am, and you got your green TheraBand. So this is just a medium strength TheraBand tied in a big circle instead of a yoga strap that's a little stiff. This is nice and soft. Placing that right foot in the loop first. Sending that leg into a comfortable stretch. And this is something I talk a lot about, is that I think people are usually too aggressive with their stretches, and they try to force their legs to go further and really tense up and don't really get a beneficial stretch. So if you go for a mild stretch where you feel the tissues lengthen, and then you stay there and hang out. At the same time, relaxing the hips and the lower back into the mat. And if it helps, to do a little bit of a sway side to side across the back of the pelvis. It helps me to listen to my lower back and keep it soft. Good. Same thing, nice deep breaths here to keep your body relaxing. Good. And then guiding that high heel across the opposite knee, we're going to go into piriformis stretch one more time here. Maybe a little rock side to side. And lower that foot down, uncross that foot, and we'll set up the second side with the TheraBand the same way. So finding your comfortable stretch, and it's really common for the sides to be different here. So listen to this second side. Really make the adjustments you need to make this comfortable, something that you can breathe with and relax into. And your arms in this position are in a great place to notice. Is your rib cage free to move? So as you breathe in, you should feel the ribs moving out and then sinking back together. And then start to guide that left heel across the right knee. Relax right here. And if you want to pull the right thigh into the chest. gently lowering that foot down. And we're going to set up in Shavasana, girls. So if you want to pull the large bolster underneath your knees and relax your heels into the mat, find a nice place for it. If you want to place the ball behind the back of the head, you can do that too. Good. So the typical ending for a yoga style class is the Shavasana or corpse pose. It's just as important as any other movement or position that we've gone into so far. And in fact, it's probably one of the hardest for people to practice and to enjoy, because it means that we're going to stop moving and we're going to start really listening and experiencing what's going on in your bodies right now. We usually try to avoid that. But it's nothing to be avoided, it's something to be embraced and loved, and it's a huge part of living in wellness, living in the present, and really becoming your own best friend. It happens in the right now as you relax, let go, and breathe through whatever you find. And that's how we digest. It's how we walk through life in the healthiest ways. We notice what's happening around us, we engage it, and then we move on in healthy ways from there. So the last couple of minutes here, we're going to let the girls breathe and listen to their bodies. Don't be surprised that as you get still like this, your mind can feel like it's getting busier and busier. It's really normal. And you can give that mind something to do by focusing on your breath, noticing each inhale and each exhale as it comes. Notice the sensations in your nose and your throat. And notice the movement in your chest and your shoulders. And keep it just that simple. It's the most calming thing. I'm going to give the girls, again, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of light touch to support their transition into deep relaxation. Just encouraging their bodies to do what they already know to do. Big thank you. You all just keep relaxing there. No need to come out yet. Just relax. A big thank you to Anne and to Beatrice for helping us today. Thank you for watching. I hope this was encouraging. We love, this is what we do at Arts and Wellness of Edenton. We love to encourage people. We love to support people in their journeys and in finding practices that suit you. And sometimes that takes a little bit of search, but you'll find it. And also to really speak the message of your value in all kinds of ways, that you are important and that you are so worthy of taking care of. So we hope to continue that with you. We'll play around with some more of these live videos maybe. But we're here at the studio. You can look on the website and see what our schedule is coming up. Let us know what you think and what else you'd like to see. See you next time.